Hello everyone, we're here at the World Hydrogen Summit in Rotterdam, organized by RX Global. And with me here today stands Knut Erik Spilling from Billington Process Technology. Welcome, Knut Erik.
Thank you.
Fantastic. We're standing here at their stand at the Norway pavilion, and Knut Erik is going to tell us a little bit more about BPT, abbreviated, what you guys do and sort of what your role is in the business, please.
Yes, I'm the head of BPT. We are a Norwegian company doing oil and gas business. We started 25 years ago, but 3-4 years ago we moved into the green energy sector. So we're doing business with green hydrogen, ammonia, e-methanol, sustainable aviation fuel and carbon capture, and have a growing business in that segment.
So if you look sort of at the green hydrogen space, coming from a legacy oil and gas business, where is it exactly that you guys are positioned?
So we are experienced process engineers. We are applying simulations or simulators, process simulators, to de-risk investments at the early stage. So we are involved in early concept stage and during engineering into operation. And this process knowledge, we're testing these concepts out in a simulation world before you even start thinking about designing it. Okay. And it's a lot of value created from that because you're removing bugs or mistakes at the early stage.
When you sort of look at that service that you're providing to the industry, how would you summarize that as your unique selling point, sort of like your unique value proposition?
So our uniqueness is deep dive process knowledge, our capability to use the commercial simulation tools and develop some other add-ons on top to get the best out of the simulation world. Values will be to de-risk early, as I mentioned. Also to think holistically from design into operation. So we're also bringing in a lot of operation experience, how to start up a facility, how to handle the abnormal situations and, well, risky situations. So you do the same as in a flight simulator. You train, the pilot train to fly. Same in a way, the operators train in a simulator to operate a green hydrogen or a derivatives system.
When you look at sort of like a digital simulation or a digital twin, you also mentioned that you guys bring also a lot of practical experience and knowledge to the table. How does that translate in being able to reflect that also on a digital way in order how the process or the project is organized and what the bottlenecks are and those sort of aspects?
As for us, it's very important to advise customers to think life cycle, meaning that you not only have one tool for engineering, but you also think about startup, you think about operation, and hopefully using the same tools across this life cycle, developing a life cycle simulator or somewhat a digital twin, which is the more popular name of the same. And in that way, the customers could use or reuse the investment from early project, move it into the engineering stage, into the startup, could train operators to handle the plants, and you could also in 20 years operation of a field get the maximum out of the investment.
Is it, if I understand it correctly, are you guys mostly involved in sort of the process before the operation of the project itself, or maybe a little bit of a handover as well, or does it also consist continuous involvement also when the process of the project is live?
So we are involved very early during concept or feasibility stage. That's maybe where we add most value. Then we're working in parallel with the EPC vendor, the engineering company, and are heavily involved during startup, meaning that we train the operational personnel to operate the plant in the correct way. And then also during operation, we assist in troubleshooting, we could optimize the production, reduce the energy consumption, all sort of unexpected aspects coming up.
Can you share us a little bit of your experience of some of the projects that you guys have been involved in?
Yeah, so far over the last 3-4 years, we have been involved in about 15 projects. Started up in Norway, but also expanding out. We have recently won a couple of very important projects for European players in Power to X, green ammonia and e-methanol plant, where we actually assisting the customers, which are big, good experienced company, but we train them to apply simulation. We help them with specifying what they really need, and moving on through the life cycle. So very interesting, and a very good thing to bring technology out of from Norway, which are also unique worldwide.
When you sort of look at the composition of the market, and particularly in the hydrogen space, which is sort of like a bit new, at least at the way it's emerging now, what are some of the spillovers or similar developments that you see from the oil and gas industry?
So oil and gas has long experience with using digital technology, simulation, digital twins, and you could actually reuse exactly the same approach into the green energy systems. The big difference is that oil and gas still have a long experience. There's a lot of people knowing about this. It's a best practice applied. Within the green, it's still a bit new, and it's all about to find the right way to, a compromise between economics and technical feasibilities.
Talking about economics, then maybe finally, the hydrogen industry has gone through a significant boom. Maybe now we see a little bit of a consolidation taking place, hopefully before the next stage of an increase again. How does that reflect in sort of your customer profile? Do you see that a lot of the new companies that you work with are still interested and capable to sort of move their projects forward, or are you more working with the established players that have more capital and experience behind them?
I think the market, as you said, is a little bit not settled. Some is very experienced, some of that are newcomers, some going bankrupt. So we're actually working with all customers, which makes sense, where we have value to add. And some of them is unluckily not going further. But we have the strategy to be involved in as much as opportunities as we can, where we have values to provide the market.
Fantastic. Knut Erik from Billington Process Technology, thank you very much.
Thanks to you.